I'm Ebon.
And I'm William.
And welcome to another episode of the Thick and Thin Podcast.
And happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Yes, happy Mother's Day.
Actually, happy Mother's Day to my mom, because that's really all you're obligated to say happy Mother's Day to, is your own mom. Yes. I actually find it weird when other people, like when you tell... I do it because I know it's the polite thing to do, but I find it weird when... Why do I sound so far away?
You do, yeah.
I don't know. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I find it weird when you have to say it to somebody else that's not your mom.
Give me an example. What's the scenario?
Your mom. To be like, Happy Mother's Day. I find that weird.
Why?
I don't know. It doesn't sound right. I don't like it, but we might just have to deal with it. I think it's probably just in my head.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't think it's weird at all, though.
I don't know. It's like, you're not my mom.
True,
you didn't bring me into this life.
I don't. For me, if I know a person is a mom, I will wish my friends that are parents. Obviously, my mom. I don't know. Yeah, because if I know you're a mom, I will wish you happy Mother's Day.
It's the socially acceptable thing to do.
Yeah. I don't know.
But it's like, I don't know. Like I said, it's like they're not my mom. They didn't do anything for me. I mean, yours has.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not like motherly stuff. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's like,
well, I mean, obviously one's own mom should, be on the top of the esteem list. But right. I mean, again, I just, like a couple of my friends this morning who I know, that I'm close to, who I know are moms, I wish them a happy Mother's Day.
Just like out of the blue? Like you just texted them?
Yeah. Because it's like, hey, we're close. Today is your day that I hope your kids are honoring you. Like, have a good one. I don't know.
Like, what about that's what a birthday's for? Like, that's what for friends. Like, you go, happy birthday. Hope you get your day off from your kids.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, one of the long-standing weird, I wouldn't call it a rant, but an observation I have is.
Keep talking.
We wish people a happy birthday when that really is no achievement of their own. Like, I feel like you should honor your mother on your birthday because she did all the work, technically.
Interesting.
But, like, a Mother's Day, it's like there's some blood, sweat, and tears in there. Like,
but a birthday, that's when you came into existence.
Yeah, so. But it's like... Yeah, it's a day honoring the person for being born that day, but what did they really do? Like, your mama did all the work.
Right, but that person also has their birthday. That you can be like, thanks for being my mom. Like, I don't know, like... I
mean, then you should be thanking the person that birthed them. I don't know, it's weird. It's just weird how holidays work, I guess.
It is weird, like, I don't know, I just... Also, if you're pregnant, you don't get a happy Mother's Day.
Why?
Because you're not done yet.
But you're in the process.
You haven't done it yet, though. You haven't done the thing that makes you a mom, technically.
So, a motherhood... Oh, this could get into a gray area here. Motherhood begins when you push the thing out?
Yeah.
Not gestating it?
I would even say it's beyond that. Like, you at least have to get it home. Like, you have to make one decision for it. You know what I mean? Like a stillbirth, you're not a mom. Sorry, that might be touchy, but like, I'm sorry, like you haven't made a decision for it.
You made a decision to keep it and grow it. That's a decision.
That I guess, but I don't know, man.
I mean, that is a big decision when you think about it. I mean, obviously not as big as the ones you will make later.
Some people don't have that decision. They just have to. They're just like.
I mean,
they hide it, or you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, nope, you don't get it. You haven't finished yet.
I mean,
it's like saying you're a doctor before you finish like before you get your credentials. It's like no,
I mean,
you're not.
I acknowledge that there's a gray area if a woman is pregnant, because heaven forbid, what if something happens to where it doesn't come to fruition? So I get that might be a gray area, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's a case by case basis. If they're like, "Oh, it's my first whatever Mother's Day," and then I would wish it to them. But if they're not, like, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
I wouldn't. I would be like, "Oh, congratulations."
Okay, that's a safe area.
I would even argue if you're one of those people, like if you got pregnant early and you're like, "I'm going to give it up for adoption when I have it," you're also not a mom. You gave birth, but you're not a mom.
Okay, technically, and also wishing...
You don't deserve a happy Mother's Day, for
technically,
sure.
wishing that person a happy Mother's Day probably would be a painful, sore spot for them anyway, so
I would do it passive-aggressively if I knew about their atrocities.
No.
But it would come off that way, even if you weren't intending it.
True. I think I would have difficulty wishing a person a happy Mother's Day if their child had died. Like what? Whether it be like they were an adult in a tragic accident, that would feel weird.
That would be brutal for sure.
I mean, not to say that they want to forget that child or anything, but that almost feels like, hey, let me remind you that you don't have the person that makes you a mom anymore. I don't know. That seems painful.
Yeah, it's like happy used to be Mother's Day.
Yeah,
that's on Monday.
Yeah. Oh,
that's fucked up. This has gotten really dark. Cold and dark real early.
Yes, that's true.
Sorry, it's just an opinion I have. It's just like, I don't know, man. Like, because you could admit, like, I think a lot of people would make the argument, like, a dude that gets a girl pregnant and then, like, leaves is not a father.
100%.
So, it's kind of my same argument.
Agreed.
Like, it's kind of...
But, I see the logic in your argument, but at the same time, there's less action on the guy part to making a woman pregnant versus a woman having a baby.
For sure. I agree with that.
There's that. Yeah. I was going to say something else. Oh, no. I just feel like birthdays should technically be Mother's Days. Like, the more kids you have, the more Mother's Days you have, because the more work you've had to do.
Wait, so the kids' birthdays should be Mother's Day? Oh, wow.
Yes. So your mom gets 2.
Interesting.
My mom gets 1. A person that has 8 kids gets 8. Like...
Hey, if you want to incentivize people to have kids...
I know, right?
That's how you do it.
I mean, to me, that makes the most logical sense. Like, not to say that motherhood of 1 is not as important as motherhood of 8, but you had to do more work to raise 8. So you should be,
you at least
revered more. Not revered more, but...
Yeah.
Celebrated more,
You at least took better care of your baby clothes.
Okay.
Because you're gonna want to reuse them. You know what I mean?
Fair.
Like, yeah, these pants are from 1994, but the kid I had in 2008 is gonna be wearing these motherfuckers.
True.
They don't care.
Also, I feel like a mom of a lot of kids probably has exponentially more stress. There's more human beings to worry about for 18 years.
Potentially, but once you get to a certain point, it's like the dad must be making the most, like, the money for the household, because that mom has to stay home at a certain point.
You would hope. I mean,
my
also
aunt had 9 kids.
That also feels like slightly unfeminist. I don't know. That's a weird thing to say, but yeah, you'd hope that a mom is taking care of her 8 or whatever.
Right, but I mean, and that is generally, like, one of them at least has to.
Yeah.
And if let's face it, if you're in a household where the woman's having 8 kids, you're a traditional household
for sure.
Because my aunt had 9 kids. And she was a stay-at-home mom, and the dad was like the contractor, like plumber, handyman type guy, and he worked like 20-hour days.
I mean, not 10 mouths to feed, or you said 9 kids, so 11 mouths to feed, yeah.
And it was just like never home. When he was home, he was just like sleeping on the lazy boy in the living room, like never, like barely talked to anyone. He was actually like a funny guy and had a sense of humor, but he was just like always just like
I'm sure that mama was too.
No, she was actually very lively.
Really?
Yeah, she has a lot
Wow.
of energy. She's a bigger lady, but has a lot of energy. I don't remember the point I was trying to make with that. But I mean, she was home all the time, and so since when you have that many kids, it's like they span such a wide that it's like, well, I'm still raising one, and this one's graduating, and then 2 years later, well, they're having a kid, so now like the cycle starts over. So now grandmom is just like being mom again, so that they can still go to work or go to college. It's just like a cycle.
If a mom of 9, if a child, how do I phrase that? If a child of a mom of 9 had kids and pulled up and was like, "Can you watch that?"
She's basically raising them like along. Like she's basically co-parenting with her.
Go do your one.
It's crazy. It's a madhouse. I mean,
I bet. 9.
I would say we should go for like a holiday sometime just so you can experience it, but I don't think that we should do that. And
that sounds like a house that is never quiet.
Only at night. You'd be surprised.
I wouldn't even think at night it'd be quiet, honestly.
Ticking of the clock.
Really? Oh, wow. Ooh. 9.
Yeah.
Are they adults yet? Any of them adults yet?
Oh yeah, almost all of them are.
Okay.
They almost all of them have kids of their own.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, even
you said
like the
almost.
younger.
That means some of them are still a minor?
None of them are minors.
Okay. Just not all of them have had kids of their own.
Correct.
Gotcha.
I think only one, actually. Yeah, only one. No, 3. The last 3 were triplets. I can't tell the difference between them. I don't know which one is doing what now. So, to this day, they're 20-something years old. I have no idea which one is which.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're identical, obviously. I mean, I don't know if triplets can not be identical.
Oh, yeah, sure they can.
Can they?
Just like twins can
Really?
be not identical. Yeah.
I bet you that's super rare, though. I bet you it's more common that they are identical.
I mean, if they were natural triplets.
Fraternal triplets? That's what it's called?
Or fraternal twins. Yeah, those are the ones that's like 2 separate eggs.
Yeah.
But I mean, that can happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Honestly, I would be, in this day and age, more surprised if they're identical triplets.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that would be more natural?
I mean, obviously that is natural, but for an egg to divide 3 times, that's pretty rare. Instead of just 3 eggs dropping.
Triplets isn't like an unknown thing.
No, it's not. But I don't know. I have nothing to base this on. But if somebody told me they were a triplet, I would naturally assume that more likely it was either like fertility help or 3 eggs dropped versus 1 egg splitting 3 times.
Interesting.
Because triplets just are rarer than like a twin.
Yeah.
You know, once you get beyond 2,
I mean, of course. I mean, it must be exponentially more rare.
Rare, yeah.
I don't know. I think my aunt was just fertile as shit. I don't know.
Do twins or multiple births rather run in one of their families? Your aunt or uncle rather?
I don't know about that.
Because there usually is a genetic component to that.
It's weird. I have those triplets are my cousins, and on my dad's side, I have cousins that are twins.
Identical?
Fraternal.
Okay.
Weird, right? But they're completely 2 different sides of the tree.
Right.
2 different genealogies or whatever.
And so the aunt is on your mom's side?
Yes.
Okay. Ooh, it's a good thing we decided not to have kids.
Oh, dude, we probably would have had sex once and popped out 7.
No.
Just like, yeah.
That's a litter by then.
So so they're just like in a cycle of like, they just like have kids and then they bring them to grandmom so that they can go to school and go to work still, and like it just kind of like cycles once they're old enough to like, you know. I think she likes it. Like that's what she's done her whole life. Like that's all. She's basically all.
What
she
if
does.
She's like, I'm counting down the days till I can have some space and some quiet, and these kids keep bringing their kids. Now I gotta do it all over again.
She's very good at like. She is the authority in her house.
I would hope so.
So she is very much just like, you go be quiet, go in there, go play in there, and I'm gonna go. Like it's very much like their house is set up for a lot of people.
Okay.
Like it's very. It's cramped, but there's a lot of space. If that makes sense.
I can't even conceptualize a house for 11 people.
Bro,
that's not a person for a person that's not a millionaire. And I assume she's not. But.
You've never heard one person say, we put up this wall so many times. Like when you go through the tour of their house, yeah, we put up this wall, we put up this wall, and we put up this wall a few years later. And then they go downstairs and like we put up this wall, this wall, this wall.
Wow.
These walls, because then when they had a baby, then we had to put up this wall, and it was just like
Jesus.
like, oh, this was a completely different house when you like everything was open pretty much when they got it, and then they just sectioned everything off.
They made kid cubicles.
Cubicles, yeah, pretty much.
Huh.
It's pretty wild.
That's wild, yeah.
But I mean, I'm probably making it sound worse than like it's a pretty big house, and there, like I said, basement is like the same floor plan as the top floor, the ground floor, whatever. So yeah, and then a garage. Fun. Dad had all the tools and shit. Yeah, it's Midwest stuff.
Okay.
Plus, like I don't know, living out there, like it's easier to afford.
Yeah.
Like having a lot of kids and stuff, like it's way more
for sure
reasonable. So happy Mother's Day to all of those that celebrate. A lot happened this week.
Yeah.
We went to concerts. We want to start there?
Yeah.
You want to go first?
Sure.
Go for it.
So I went to Cowboy Carter tour concert.
The Queen Bee.
Beyonce. As I mentioned last podcast, it was my first popular music concert and obviously first Beyonce concert. And mind blown. I get the hype. I mean, I'd heard that, she puts on a good show. I've seen performances here and there of her and, Super Bowl or whatever. And I gotta say, this concert was just shy of 3 hours long. And, other than, there were small intervals of time where she wasn't on stage, that she would sink in a hole in the stage and pop back up kind of thing. Each of those breaks were no more than 7 to 10 minutes tops. And I assume that was just for like a concert or costume change.
Oh, for sure.
To bedew herself because,
towel off, get some water.
But my God, to know that a woman who is over 40 can do all. These dances were hardcore.
Happy Mother's Day to Beyonce.
For real. I can't imagine doing all, like, just the thought, sidebar, like Broadway shows when people are singing and dancing at the same time. Me as a singer, not a dancer, my God, just watching that blows my mind. And then this woman did it for 3 hours, and she's not a spring chicken. It was just like,
right.
Whoa.
It's like, because we know how expensive these things are, and like you kind of got, like I think we said it last episode, you kind of got lucky in that you got a gifted ticket. So it's like, yeah, you better be up there for 3 hours,
right? But I'm sure that there are.
Honest,
I'm sure there are other pop performers, that are equally as established and have a body of work. And I don't know that. I don't know really, but it's like I assume they probably have an opener and there's a break.
That's what I was going to ask, if there was an opening artist.
No, all her.
Interesting.
All her. And
selfish, but interesting.
This stage,
but honestly, who the fuck's gonna open for Beyonce?
Right, exactly.
It's like, what are you gonna do?
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, it's exposure, but everybody there is gonna be like, who are you? Get off! Like, we do not care.
Right. And
if anything, have like a side stage. That's what I would do. Have a side stage. Have some like local thing to do like an hour beforehand. They put like 40 minutes, like, before the doors open or something, and then that's what if I was like a promoter that was like, oh, I want to like expose local talent.
That's fair.
Which I don't think that arena gives a good goddamn about local talent. SoFi, they don't give a shit. So how was that experience? How was like the SoFi experience? That's mostly what I'm curious about.
That arena is massive.
Yeah.
Also, a sidebar, just adding more to her stamina. There was like a stage, and then there was like this long catwalk.
Yeah, you sent me a picture.
That
it was
had
like an arrow. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was not a short distance. It
Yeah.
felt like the length of our block.
Right.
And I was like, the fact that she was dancing and going up, and I was mind blown.
It's crazy.
SoFi Stadium is massive. I think I told you I did like a Disneyland day's worth of walking just to go to this concert.
Did you do any extra like walking around the stadium kind of walking?
Well, no, because when we got there, I think our gate was like gate 9, and where we entered from the parking lot, it had like a set of signs like gates, whatever, let's say 9 through whatever, this way or whatever. Right. So we didn't see gate 9, so we took off in the direction of this arrow, and then these gates are not close together. So after a while of walking, we saw gate 10, so it was like, oh, the next one's going to be 9.
Yeah,
and then 11. It was 11.
Oh, no.
And so we had to...
You turned around? Okay.
Go all the way back.
That's good.
Yeah, so...
I guess that was my question. Like, were the steps that you did, like a genuine reflection of like you just going to the car, or were you like, oh, let's take like an extra walk around the stadium?
No, it was unintentional, but
okay. Yeah.
So pretty massive. Once you got inside, it was fairly easy. I mean, it was kind of reminiscent of the Intuit Dome as far as like lots of concession stands, and there's a few merch stands, escalator stairs, whatever. But unlike the Intuit, once we found our seat, we're high and we're looking down, and you can easily see the opposite end. This was like massive. I don't know how much SoFi holds, but it felt like it could hold the population of Victorville. And there was only one section that wasn't used. So like there's a stage and the catwalk. So like there is a little bit in behind the stage that was not used. So pretty much a U shape of seats were 70,000. Okay.
Expandable up to 100,000 for major events, but I don't think
so. I imagine that she was probably using 70 to 80,000.
Yeah,
because a back section wasn't used,
that
like behind the stage.
Huge, for like an NFL stadium.
Oh, is it? Okay, okay,
yeah, that's huge.
So, super huge. I guess it is known that she, despite what your ticket time says, that she usually starts like an hour after that, an hour and 15 after that, simply because I guess so many people getting everybody seated or whatever. So it seemed like everybody knew that. I didn't know that. Like even the friend that I went with, she was like, "Oh, she's gonna start around 8:15." I was like, "Okay, I don't know how you know that, but I'm gonna trust you." And she was right.
But the start time was 7.
On the ticket, it says 7. Yeah.
Doors were 5:30.
I don't know about when the doors open.
What time did you get there?
Like 7:15.
So you were late. You're the reason that she starts late.
The show hadn't started. But sure.
Oh, yeah. You want to know why the show hadn't started?
Anyway, so we get in after we got back. Actually, in the course of our misdirection, we found the merch stand, one of the merch stands, and we got our little merch or whatever. So then we entered.
Oh, that was a quick breeze by of that.
Well, you want me to go through my conundrums of
I do.
So despite my assumed preparations for the night, my outfit preparation, I actually, because I'm always cold, I was like, I'm going to put on a thermal shirt under my blouse that I also had a denim vest over, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna layer, be warm.
Yep. By the way, you look cute, but dumb.
Whatever.
As I said.
Because you just don't like country western wear. So.
Nobody does.
I mean,
it's supposed to be practical.
That concert would say otherwise.
It's not for fashion. It's for practicality.
We'll cycle back to that.
Everybody looks dumb in it.
We'll cycle back to that. So once we got there, it was breezy, and I was like, oh no, I'm going to be cold. The sun is still out, and I'm already cold.
It was breezy inside?
No, outside. That's where the merch stuff was.
Really?
Well, the one we purchased from anyway. There were some inside too.
Well, this was like within the SoFi.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yeah. Even though there were a gazillion outside of the selling like bootleg shirts and gazillions of those too.
For sure. Stuff that fell off the truck, you know?
Allegedly, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh God, I'm already cold and the sun is still out. This is going to be a rough night. And one of the friends that I went with, she wore shorts. I was like, ooh. But she's also from the Bay Area, so her cold tolerance is way different than mine. But anyway, so I'm like, okay, maybe I'll buy a sweatshirt. And legit Beyonce merch is not cheap.
She's having a hard time getting through this.
And I'm looking at I see a zip-up hoodie. They have some pullover hoodies. And as we get to the front of the lot, I see the price of this hoodie, and I'm like, I've never spent more than $100 on a hoodie before. And I was really warring with myself. I was like, I can be cheap and shiver for the next 3 hours, or I can bite this bullet. And then as if a bolt out of the sky, I was like, girl, this is Beyonce merch. You can sell that shit real easy. I was like, run me this one and give me a fan. I mean, I wanted to keep the fan anyway, but I had considerably less misgivings about this pricey hoodie purchase because I was like, somebody out there is going to want this at some point.
Absolutely. Considering, especially once I found out how few cities she was doing, and probably like, 3 to 4 shows maybe at each. It's like, oh yeah, for sure somebody will buy that.
And I texted my mom this or whatever. She kind of looked on eBay, and right now, because the tour is still going on, pretty much the eBay listings are pretty much what you pay for it.
Right.
She was like,
give it a year.
She was like, wait till that tour is over.
Yep.
But anyway, I mean, after I purchased the hoodie and got to feel it, I was like, oh, this is nice and it's heavy. It's like heavy. Good quality. So we're gonna see after this tour or if I really want to get rid of it. But
let's see how much it actually goes up in price.
Look, if there are listings for $500, I can't pack it up fast enough and ship it. But whatever. So once we get in, they give us these cool like sashes that have like a light attached, like a LED, which wasn't on. It was just like a lump of plastic at that point.
Did they tell you what it was?
No.
They were just like, put this on.
No, they weren't even like, put this on. It was like,
you pieces of cattle.
You walked in and they just handed it to you. And like the ribbon is like a red, white, and blue, and it says Cowboy Carter on it.
So did you put it on yourself, or did they like, did you like slide? Like,
no, slide it on and cinch it up yourself.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to think, I can't remember if Donna explained it to me what it does. But anyway, so she probably did because I knew before I saw. So anyway, long story short, that this light is throughout the concert is like coordinated to like the songs, and it flashes like whenever you see videos, or I don't know if you've seen them, but of what I always thought in arenas, you see all these lights, and I just assumed it was somebody holding up their cell phone. Right,
or like how in the Intuit Dome, it was on the seat panel.
Yeah. So changed colors, flashed to the beat, like it was super cool. And then like the visual, once the lights went down and performance started, like just these synced light, it just looked really cool.
Were there times where she was like, put your fucking...
No.
Mm-mm. Interesting.
I mean,
it was just like...
Yeah. It was just like, it's going to be synced.
Natural.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm trying to think.
I wonder, so... Was there any kind of like syncing with it where it was like you scanned like your ticket? So I'm just like, because I'm assuming that it wasn't just like rhythmic, it was colors also.
That too.
And so there were some kind of patterns throughout the crowd, right? So how does it know your location? That's what I want to know.
Oh, that's a good point. I don't know. Maybe it's like a Bluetooth or like, I don't know. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, because I kind of assumed that maybe it was at your seat already, or like when you scanned your ticket, it was like assigned to it. Interesting.
Nope.
So it's like based on location somehow.
Yeah,
that's interesting as hell.
So
and you didn't move around, like, because that would have been like, I wonder if I go over there if it'll like,
I didn't move.
That's what I would want to know.
So also. I was, I kind of asked a couple of friends, and telling them I was going to this concert, like, what do I expect at a concert and this and that. And they were like, oh, well, expect that you're going to do a lot of standing because people are going to want to stand up and, just vibe or whatever. And I was like, okay, that could be rough, but whatever. I wore comfortable shoes. But when we got to our seat, a shout out to the friend that gave me this seat. I won't call your name out, but you know who you are. This is a fantastic seat. We're in a mezzanine, like a balcony, and we had the front row of the balcony, so it was like an unobstructed view. And there's like plate glass in front of it, to keep people from falling off. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, I don't even have to stand?
Yeah,
Like,
and you were like 11 o'clock of the stage. Like if you were standing on stage, you were like just off center.
fantastic seat.
And it was like, oh, that's why the ticket was so expensive.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So, and there were moments throughout the concert where I likely would have maybe stood up and but I was like, I'm tall, I'm gonna ruin somebody else's experience. I'm just gonna chill.
Fuck them.
I'm a considerate person, but I was I was just chilling, whatever. So, toward the end of the night, I felt myself starting to get a little restless and, whatever. You had provided me or recommended that I bring earplugs, again, because I didn't know what to expect. And I didn't need them, technically. The stranger that was sitting to my left, it was his first Beyonce concert as well, and he was super fangirling. So the first 10 minutes, he was just and so it kind of made my kind of thudded my ear a little bit, but he
made your eye go like this.
Yeah. But the bass or whatever their sound system, it was it felt like it was reverberating in my body. I felt like my organs were vibrating.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
Your ribs were like a xylophone.
Yeah, it wasn't
bing, bong, bing,
loud
bong.
to the point where I earplugs would have made that feel less. It was just like a I can't explain it.
It's that sub bass.
Yeah.
That fake bass.
I was truly first of all, given my lack of country western attire stuff, I'm not a country girl. I pieced together some stuff from my own wardrobe, and I borrowed a cowboy hat. And so I'm just I'm just gonna roll with it. I was actually pleasantly surprised that just strangers were like, oh, you look cute, get it, girl. And I was like, oh, okay, I did this right. To the point where I don't know, I was low key feeling myself at some point. I could feel myself strutting, and I had my I was feeling myself. So, but I will say, and I don't know, in the Venn diagram of Beyonce concert attendees or country western fans, what the overlap was, but people went ham at this concert. I was just looking around, and the coordination and outfits, and black people, we gonna do it up. It was, if I didn't attend this concert and could expect this, I would just go on can you just put me on a bench and I just watch people walk in. Right. It was something to behold. Trying to think what else. There were, I assume that a lot of these participants didn't realize how much walking was going to be involved, because by the end of the night, practically everybody was walking like their dogs were barking. And I was like, ooh, them spike heels didn't treat you well, huh? Oh, there's out. Are they talking about her outfits?
Is that what she wore?
At one point, yeah.
Oh, that's just showing
she had
what
an
she's
outfit,
wearing.
The opening number, she had this white outfit with chaps, and again, not a country western. That outfit right there in the middle.
This one, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
She looks dumb.
You just don't like western wear.
It's just dumb. It looks dumb, and I don't like it for a reason. It looks dumb,
and that's fine. But yeah, people did.
This is her. I don't want her outfits. I want people's outfits.
You would just have to go on
Reddit
Instagram and
right?
just see people's personal posts. But yeah, people went ham on the outfits. I'm trying to think what else.
Dude, the frills and stuff. Really, the
fringe and the dangles. Also,
it's so dumb.
A tad bit of shade. There were a lot of booty shorts, western-y kind of booty shorts, and Daisy Dukes. Yeah, but there were plenty of people that probably shouldn't have wore them. If you don't have a booty enough to have the south crease, don't wear them. It just didn't.
If you don't have a booty enough to have a south crease, so you're talking the other end. They didn't have enough booty to do. Oh, I thought you meant the far other end, the far right.
No, I'm talking about the bootyless.
I see.
Sect of the
interesting.
The attendees.
The whites.
I mean, some of them, they weren't all white people, but they were the most of them. There were some non-black but non-white bootyless attendees.
Interesting.
And yeah, just like I saw them the most like as we were leaving and leaving the stadium and whatnot. I was like, oh, like I get that you wanted to lean in, but that's not a good look. Like,
yep.
But yeah, all in all, a fantastic experience. It's probably a once in a lifetime stars aligning kind of thing. So I'm glad I got to experience it. We stayed in a hotel. It was by far the most fanciest place I'd ever stayed in.
Most fanciest.
Yeah, I mean, our window our window was the opposite corner from the Disney Hall. Like we could just look down at the Disney Hall. It was
crazy.
Yeah, super cool. Super great experience. I know leading up to this, the two friends that I went with, they had already planned on getting in a hotel, and when I was trying to figure out like how am I gonna take time off? I'm just gonna leave early and blah blah blah. I was like, I could drive back after, and my mom was like, girl, experience this fully, have fun with your friends, don't be trying to be cheap and be just going to drive back tired the night. And I'm so glad I took that advice. So fantastic experience. So
hell yeah, it's just expensive.
Yeah.
And so I went and saw Between the Buried and Me with featuring band Protest the Hero. I drove down after work. Took me about 2.5 hours to get to San Diego. So my ticket was $40. And turns out that included parking.
Nice.
Parking was validated, which was right across the street from the venue.
Nice.
It would have only been $5 parking.
Oh my gosh.
But it was like, hey, that's $5 that I don't have to spend. That's perfect. So I found a place to park. I had a quick meeting with the buddy system before I went in through Discord. I found the front, which is technically the back, but I don't know, like the marquee was on this side, but the entrance where they did all the tickets and stuff was on the opposite side. And it was like it was basically in like a neighborhood. Like it was like music venue, and there was this little park that was like connected to it, which I was telling you has these little like instruments for kids to hit, but they weren't like annoying. They were like mellow and chill. It was very cool. And then just like streets around it, parking garage on this side, and just houses on the other side. Yeah, just homes. Like, and there were kids and families like out in this, and it was like, this is such a weird place to have like a music venue, and like especially like a metal concert. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I wonder what it sounds like from.
I was gonna say, do you think the houses nearby could hear the concert?
I have no idea. I hope not, because they're doing stuff most nights.
Wow. Okay.
It's like that would suck. So when I showed up, I could see like where like the security and like where they took tickets and stuff, but I couldn't see like a line, and so I was just kind of like standing around, waiting for a line to form. And then once I saw like some other people like having their IDs checked, and I went and got in line, I was probably like 8th or 9th in line. Yeah.
Nice.
So I was waiting for the line to open, or the doors to open. They obviously checked our IDs before that, so once the doors open, I literally just walked in. They scan it like what is it? RIFD? Is that what the RFID the ticket? No security checks. they were doing random ones, like where they would just pick like one person out, but for the most part they were just like, nope, go ahead.
Wow.
As you walk in, it's like you enter, and there's like the bars and stuff right here, and then like the stage and stuff is to the right, and like merch was at the far end. Only one merch stand compared to several is an understatement for Beyonce. So I went and grabbed a drink. Well, I used the bathroom first, and then I grabbed a drink. I got an old-fashioned. The guy didn't upcharge me for the old-fashioned. He just charged me for whiskey. And so I kept going back to him throughout the night.
I bet you did.
And I tipped him well. I got a drink. I went and looked at the merch. There was a line for the merch. I was like, nope, I'm going to wait because at some point there's not going to be a line. I kind of picked out what shirts I wanted.
One you're wearing.
One of them I'm wearing. And then a tour concert for Between the Buried and Me. And then I went and I found my spot because there was like nobody there until like 20 minutes before the show started.
Oh, wow.
Then like 300 people showed up. It was set up. It was perfect. So there was the stage, and then there was like this big rectangle area that was probably like 30, 40 feet deep. And then there were some elevated like railing areas that were throughout, like kind of in a sort of semicircle. Mm-hmm. And so I got like in the corner of one of these railings so that I was a little elevated and like nobody was going to really stand next to me. And that's where I watched Protest the Hero from. And they were awesome, as always. Fun. They played a song I wasn't expecting, despite me looking up their set list beforehand. They switched one out on me, which was cool. And it was like a new one. That's what I was telling you leading up to it, is that they weren't playing like new songs, like from their the newest album they had. They weren't playing any songs. So I was like, that's weird. Like, but whatever. So they played one from that album that I wasn't expecting in place of one of my favorite songs, which is kind of like, that kind of sucks that they're not going to play that. But again, like whatever. Their lead singer, Rhodey Walker, made fun of white people. So I was like, this is enjoyable for me. It was so funny. He was making fun of people in rhythm, and he was basically like, we invented moshing because we can't dance on beat. So,
I mean, at least he knows his audience.
He knows his audience. Well, sort of. I don't know if they're self-deprecating whites so much as like.
You don't think his audience is self-deprecating?
No, not necessarily.
Oh. Were there boos or like?
No, it just wasn't like laughter.
Oh,
like I was laughing, but I don't think many other people were.
Wow. Also, what's to your best estimation? Did you see? I mean, I assume it's majority white men, maybe some white women. Were there? Could you spy any other folks?
There were black people.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's too diverse of an area for there to like not be any.
Okay.
But there weren't that many.
Yeah.
I probably like 5 or 6.
Okay.
Of like
the 300.
Of the 500.
Jesus,
there was maybe 500 people.
Okay.
Because there was a balcony and you could get like VIP. It was like an extra like $30 or something, and you could get up there. Which if I would have known that beforehand, I might have done it. But it was like so not necessary.
Yeah.
And plus, I feel like if you're not close to the edge of the balcony, then you're not going to see anything. Yeah. Like if you're 10 feet back, the floor is blocking.
Like this kind of concert is not a seating kind of concert.
No, they actually did have chairs be at the back, like in front of the bars, behind like the elevated standing places.
Okay.
There were chairs, and I was like, that's interesting. Like, I wonder if that's for like,
like handicapped or something.
Right. So I didn't bother to sit. I didn't want to sit anyway. Where was I? So after protest I went outside and I was hitting my vape. This guy tried to talk to me, but I had my earplugs in, so I could barely hear him. And I was just like, what? What was that? And I wasn't going to take him out because I didn't care enough about what he said. Actually, he was brown. That's really? Not why I didn't care about what he said.
You just want to go through the trouble of reinstalling your earbuds or earplugs.
Yeah, he was like Middle Easternish, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. So there, and of course, like Latino, like they're like Latinos like metal.
Did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely some of them, but yeah, I mean, it's what you'd expect. Mostly dudes. There were some girls. It was funny to see like the girl that was like, like the metal chick, and then the guy with her that was like, yeah, I'll go with you to make sure that you're not getting like beat up or like.
So he was obviously not a metal person.
Or like adjacent, maybe like
Okay.
he was like, oh, I don't really like them, but like I like rock or whatever.
Okay.
But
okay.
I'll go with you because I'm a simp or whatever it is. Like, so that was interesting.
Okay.
Anyway, so went outside, hit my vape, went back in, got another drink, and lost my spot at the railing, which I just accepted. I was like, I saw my favorite band in a really good spot. It's like, I'll let somebody else see potentially their favorite band in that good spot. So I just moved like in front of it and like basically just like center stage. And I know previously I said, I was like, oh, I want to get a vantage point for the drummer. Well, their drummer was like elevated. And
so you could see
like,
regardless.
yeah,
Okay.
it didn't matter where you were because they know how good he is and they know that people want to see him.
That makes sense. Okay.
So between the Buried and Me, dude, I cannot overstate how good they are.
Nice.
You know, lights go out.
You had heard of them before this concert.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
The album that they played first, I'm a big fan of.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it when it came out. And then the second album, I was like, I didn't listen to that one, but that's why I look up the set. Well, I knew that they were going to play it, so I didn't necessarily need to see the set list. But I was like, oh, I'll just listen to that before I go. Yeah, and I'll get familiar with it. But I knew I wanted to see this first album for sure. So lights go out. Of course, there's like fog. Some like backing lights go up. The like lead vocalist comes out with like the bass player, who's also like their synth guy. Like I don't know. They both play like keys, piano, and like do all the synthesizing and stuff. Because like the beginning of the album starts with like a slow like piano part with like vocals, and then the guitar comes in. So when the guitar, he like came out of like the shadows into the light playing the guitar part, and everybody cheered. And then right before like the song kicks in, of course the drummer comes out and he comes into the light, and the place
He's
just
the rock star.
erupts.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like what a crazy like experience where the drummer
is more
is
revered than other
like
members of the
usually
band?
it's the guitar player or the lead singer is like the guy, but and so like place goes crazy.
Well, good for him for getting his flowers.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
he did not disappoint.
Nice.
They started the album and played it all the way through. They didn't say an extra. They might have been like, "Hey, San Diego," like once, but they played that album second one to minute whatever hour whatever it is, as if I was listening to the album.
Nice.
It was insane. It was amazing. They took 10 minutes off. I went, used the bathroom, got another drink, and they came back on. 10 minutes later, this is when they came out and they're like, hey, we're between the Buried and Me, we're going to play Alaska. And then they're and then just started playing again.
Wow.
And just basically went through the whole thing. Like they would take shorter breaks and be like, this song's called, and then boom, just right back into it. Like there was no frills. Like they had a cool light show and fog machines and everything, but it was just, they just played.
Nice,
and it
nice.
was amazing.
That's cool.
I mean, top tier musicianship. And you know what's crazy? Like, yeah, to play the guitars and all that stuff, like to play it live is one thing. And then it's like, take the lights away. Try to play what they're playing, like without being able to see what they're playing.
Yeah.
Or like the lights are behind them, so they're in the shadow. Like it's so... It's amazing. It's crazy that they're not more popular. It's just so, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like their ability to play live, to write the music, to play it in unison so perfectly. Like I don't know, man. It doesn't get enough credit.
Nice.
It was just unbelievable. Like there were times when like they were playing, especially that first album, because it's so like epic and just like one body of work. That like they would like play some things, and I would just be standing there just like, oh my God, like this is crazy that they can do this. Like I was just mind blown watching them.
Nice.
There is a YouTube video of that whole album they played live like 5 years ago. So if you want to see what I saw, but I will say I watched that video after seeing my concert, and I think they were better when I saw them than they were in the video.
Okay.
It was amazing.
Nice.
Yeah. And by the end of it, I was like, this has to be one of my favorite bands now. It just has to be. Like they're so good live. I don't know. It's all I'm going to be listening to for a while.
I figured.
Is them. So yeah, and I ended up going to the merch stand like toward the end of their second album when it slowed down a little bit, and I spent probably 3 minutes there screaming at the merch people because it's so loud.
Oh, okay.
2X. Yeah, stuff like that. But it was like 3 minutes. There was nobody else there, so I was in and out. Boom, boom.
You weren't worried they were gonna sell out by you waiting so late in the concert to get it?
Nah.
Okay.
I would have figured it out. Or I would have just not got one. I know some of them would probably be available online or something if I really wanted it. It's just convenience that it was there.
Yeah.
So each shirt was $35, so that was $70 plus my ticket, $110 plus my drinks was probably $150. I spent a literal tenth of what yours would have cost at full price.
Yeah.
For arguably the same experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
I almost feel bad for people that like Taylor Swift is their favorite artist, you know?
Just looking at the amount of people there, you know, assuming they, you know, bought some merch and bought a new outfit and whatever. I'm just like, you know, it's similar to what I think when going to Disneyland, especially for people that don't live in Southern California. It's like, how can you what do you do that you can afford to do this all the time?
And at the same time, like, good for Beyonce. But there is a part of me that's like, do you really need to charge $500 for, like, is that really... I know you can, but does that mean you should? You know what I mean?
And with stuff like that, like I don't know if pricing is established by the stadium based on the level of stardom of a person. Like, I don't know how much is that her versus the location, but
still, though, it's like,
yeah,
you know, it's like, do you need that much money, Beyonce? Like, come on. Like,
remember
let's be
that thing I sent you? It was actually about Kendrick that said he is joining Beyonce as far as achieving more than $9 million in a concert. And I said to you, I was like, after what I saw Wednesday, I believe that.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it. And like, again, like I teeter on it because it's like good for them. Like, get yours while you can.
And obviously they're not getting that much money. I'm sure a good chunk of it goes to the,
Sure, but they're getting enough.
Yeah, I'm sure they're getting a lot. Yeah, for sure.
And it's just, like I said, I kind of go back and forth on it where, like, if I was in their shoes, I'd be charging as much as I could too, probably, because business. Like, why would you not?
Clearly people pay it.
Clearly people pay it. So why would you not?
Yeah.
But at the same time, as like just a consumer, I'm like, who's this for? Like, this is crazy, man. I don't know. Like, that's why I don't know. And not that. I guess, like, again, I just feel bad for people that is like what speaks to them, because the music that speaks to me is fortunately the cheap stuff.
Yeah,
it's affordable. But at the same time, and this is arguable based on perspective, and this is subjective, but I get way more talent for my dollar than everybody else at that arena and that your arena does. Like,
I mean, that's subjective, but okay.
Yeah, it's subjective, but pound for pound, you could argue that. Like, I get, Between the Buried and Me has 5 people, Protest has another 5, you know, just all of immense talent. All probably, you could argue, as talented as Beyonce. All on the same stage, doing their talent together, which is arguably better than one person. I don't know, like, you can make the argument. That's all I'm saying. Bang for your buck. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
That's fair.
But yeah, and like I said, I mean, Protest played for 45 minutes, and then between the Bury Me was up there for like 2 hours at the end of the day with like a 10-minute break. Like, just insane. Like, playing so much music. And yeah, it's just wild. It's just wild to me, the differences.
For sure. Also, so I started listening to because I mean, as you've gleaned, I'm not a country music fan at all. So before the concert, I was like, let me actually, because
it's not good music.
Before I got this ticket, I'd heard snippets of Texas Hold'em just because people put it in their Instagram videos. But I could not identify a single song on this album if my life depended on it. So I started listening to it probably like a week or so before the concert. And one of the things I don't like in general about country music is twofold. Is one, fiddling, like violins in country music. I love violins in classical music, but that like it makes my eye twitch. And I also don't like
that like steel guitar
the
thing.
Steel guitar, and I don't know if it's exaggerated. It just sounds exaggerated to my ear. The like the drawl.
Yeah.
It's not my cup of tea. So before
I'm gonna take my plastic cup down the dirt road in my big red truck.
No. So
that was pretty good. I was like, that could have been a country song right there.
So before listening to this album, I was like, I hope Beyonce doesn't make my eye twitch, and it didn't. It sounded country, but she also infused a little. Well, I wouldn't say a little. She made it black, like it was soulful country music.
It was popped.
Some of it, yeah. Some of them were a little more pop sounding, but I never had an eye twitch moment. So I was like, oh, okay, I can work with this. Also, I liked in her intermittent costume changes. She had these like I want to call it like a slideshow, but it almost sounds like cheapens it somewhat. But these slideshow, for lack of a better term, it was kind of just talking about like, you know, the history of black people in country and how we did it first and this and that, and you know, just like I was getting some like lessons,
some
like
feels.
Yeah, and I love that, and you know, she kind of tongue in cheek kind of talked about, or she didn't talk about, but in this slideshow, you know, she's gotten a lot of flack for like, why is she sitting around in the country? And, you know, she's a Southern girl. She grew up hearing that. But, you know, she was kind of a little bit kicking the dirt in the face of these naysayers. Like, you know, I'm reclaiming this history. And I really like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was, really cool experience. I don't know that I just what I assume this whole experience cost. I don't know if cheap Ebon would have been able to spend as much as everything cost, but it was a fantastic experience.
Yeah. You know, I think maybe on the podcast last week I said that I think this might be my last metal concert.
Oh, why?
Just because I remember going in the past and just like how tired I would be and just like how loud it always was, and just like money.
And you thought that then?
Yeah.
Okay. So now fast forward to it.
Yeah. So now before going in, I was like, man, like this might be the last time I do this, just because I'm not that I'm getting old, but like I'm getting old. Like to do stuff like this, like I'm getting old. Like on a weekday night, you know what I'm saying? It's it's just, it's hard to justify it the longer I live.
For sure.
But after seeing them do like these two albums live, I was like, well, there's no way if they do like something similar in the future where they're playing full albums, there's no way I'm not going to see that.
That's fair.
Because it was so good. Like, if they have two albums that are, it's Colors and Colors 2. One came out in like 2007, and then they put out Colors 2 in like 2021. And if they did like, and they might have already done this, I'm not sure. If they did a tour of like both of those like back to back colors 1 and 2,
you're in.
I would have to be. I would have to be. I'm also expecting a new album from them probably later this year.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just get this because they usually put out an album every 3 or 4 years, and they haven't put one out since that one into 21.
Oh, okay.
And they're going on a tour right now, playing old stuff. I feel like they've already recorded an album, and it's
just
mixing
like dripping it out, like just little teases.
Well, not even that. Like they're just going on tour for money, and of course, like not to promote, but to make like, hey, fans, we're still like out here.
Remember us? We're
and
still
then
out
once
here.
this tour wraps up, they'll probably announce the album
fair.
that'll probably come out at the end of the year or something like that.
That's
I
fair.
hope. That's what I'm hoping.
Okay.
Because I'm so ready for new music from them now.
Cool.
So good. Okay. I think that probably wraps it up for that. I don't know. We had great experiences. Different tax brackets. The other thing in the news all week was the selection of a new pope. I felt like it was relatively short this time.
What was short?
The selection process. I feel like it usually lasts longer, or I might just be like just uninformed, but I feel like this was pretty quick.
Was, I don't know, 2 or 3 days. It wasn't like this one wasn't selected the first round out because there was some black smoke.
Yeah, but I thought
moments.
that's normal. I thought that was typical. I thought they almost never agree on the first one, or first like.
I mean, I've only been alive for 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 4th, technically, which seems like a lot actually for one lifetime. But
It
no,
really doesn't.
3.
Considering
3,
how
not
old
4.
they fucking are when they get
So
selected, do you think they?
the Pope that stepped down, Benedict, is that his name?
Sure.
That
You're asking
one?
the wrong guy for
Sorry.
information.
So there was the German one that stepped down.
I care
and
less
then,
about this than I do about the royal family.
And then the one that just died, and then this one. So I've been alive for 3.
Sure. By the way, if you want a figurehead that means absolutely nothing,
I mean, we're not Catholic.
It's
We
the-
have
it's
nothing
the Pope.
invested into this. But
I mean, even if you are,
I mean,
it means nothing.
I mean, to Catholics, it might mean something, but
I guess, dude, but like what? Oh, they're the Pope, but what does that mean? They're the Pope. What does that mean?
but we're viewing it from non-Catholic
Who gives a
stances.
shit?
To Catholics, it means something.
Okay. So what do you know about this guy?
Well,
'Cause I actually know. He's been making it onto my timeline for probably very different reasons.
not
Not bad
so
things.
Obviously this is making history because he's the first American Pope,
Heyo! Shout out to the United States of America.
and this is a Pope that's got some black on his family tree. Like he's,
Holla, holla, holla.
he's part Negro up in here, so that's a double historical fact, a historical checkbox, if you will.
This dude looks straight Italian.
I mean, I think it was like a grandfather that was part black, so it's
Hey,
a
we'll
little
take
bit
it.
it's removed. I mean, you see his hair.
African Creole.
You see his
I
hair is
thought
pretty straight.
Creole
So
was derogatory.
no, Creole just means a combination of, specific to like that Louisiana area, blend of French, Caribbean, African. It's an amalgam of itself. So
Sounds sexy. I'm not known to have publicly commented having African ancestry, which is part of a mixed heritage. Well, I mean, that makes sense. If you're a mutt, you don't fucking... He's probably also not... He also probably doesn't talk about being French, Italian, or Spanish. I bet you he doesn't care. He probably says he's Italian.
But at the same time, like the fact that somebody... That his lineage was public information for someone to find out, he must have said something to somebody or disclosed it somewhere.
I suppose, or some journalist just actually did some research.
Yeah,
maybe
it's possible. But
at the end, hey, maybe the Catholic Church isn't as racist as we think they are.
no, that's possible. I was actually surprised that an American one was chosen. I mean, the African ancestry aside, but just because, America ain't looking good on these global streets right now. So I didn't know if that would be a factor in the conclave selection process, but
Yeah, I wonder.
And then, well, after hearing that it was an American Pope,
Where you're like, oh God, is it Donald Trump?
Well, not that, but I mean, generally speaking, and I'm again making a generalization. I'm acknowledging that there are exceptions, but Catholics tend to be on the conservative side politically, and so I was like, ooh, if an American was chosen and Catholic, I'm like, he's gonna be Trumpy and. But it turns out he's not. He leans a little left of center.
He's from Chicago.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe
he went up to address the crowd of 100,000 pilgrims and tourists in his first speech as Pope Leo the 14th from the central balcony of St. Peter's Basilica, saying, "Evil will not prevail in my neighborhood." Okay.
Your accent.
He definitely this is the Catholic Church returning to its mob roots. That's what's going on. They said, we need this Chicago Italian dude in here to come in and do it like fucking who's the mob guy from Chicago, the famous one, the Capone. We need a Caponic era of the Catholic Church here. We need a real man to come in here and show us how to run things.
Okay.
That was probably what he was saying during the conclave. He was just up there just running shit.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, if you don't vote for me, you know what's gonna happen to you?
I'm gonna send a horse's head and make you an offer I can't refuse.
You will be sleeping with the fishes. Yeah.
But
that's what I like.
Again, I have no investment here. I'm not a Catholic, never been one, whatever. But I'm genuinely curious to see if he shakes some stuff up, if he lets some light into some dusty, dark places, and I'm gonna be watching from the sidelines. I'm curious.
What do you say we open the Vatican vaults, huh? Let's see what we got in there. Maybe we can make some trades. I would love for him to just be like, "And God be with you."
I mean, I know I recommended you the book. There's a TV show based on it. The Borgias. It gives I mean, not like the accent and all that like that.
Oh,
but
that's how I would read it.
It's I think it's that book's tagline was like, before there was The Godfather, this was going on in the 1400s.
Isn't that the book?
Yeah, Mario Puzo.
Yeah,
called the Family.
I'm gonna read that. Yeah, I'm gonna read that. That's the plan after I finish.
And
The
it was about a very corrupty, Godfather-ish like Pope.
Damn right, dude. Yeah. Hell yeah, we're going back to the fucking 1400s.
Yeah,
fucking make the Catholic Church great again.
Oh my gosh.
We gotta make some moves. Do you know what they're saying about us out there? They're saying some pretty terrible things.
Their accent cracks me up. So yeah.
I should do a video of the Pope making us speak. What are some things that a Pope would like? What does he do? What does he say? Does he do mass? It's like
probably in the Sistine Chapel.
The body and blood of Christ broken and shed for you.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancto. And all that.
And all that shit. Yeah. If you don't know what I said, hey, you need to work on your Italian or Latin, whatever.
And for you Americans, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Because he's a Cubs fan, man. He was pictures were taken of him at the World Series when they were in it, man. He's in it.
He sounds like a cool Pope, if nothing
else. I mean,
we came off of having a cool-ish one, so.
When I retire, me and Pope Leo the 14th are going to be having beers at Wrigley Field together, keeping score together.
I like how you think he's still going to be living in America now that he's Pope, first of all.
Wait, he's a Pope. I can live wherever I want. What do I have to be in Vatican? We have Zoom.
I'm sure he has to do some ritual regular stuff in the Vatican. I think that's going to be his home.
Yeah, you tell me I don't get a private jet? Why don't we sell some of those paintings we got? Let me get a jet. I don't need to wear all these jewelry necklaces. Actually, let me keep this one. But you can get rid of this. I don't need all these robes. So surely these are paid for a jet, right? I need to get. I got season tickets to the Cubs. I can't.
I mean, can you just imagine him pulling up in the Pope Mobile to, was it Wrigley Field? It would be.
Yeah, and with a Cubs like bumper sticker.
Oh, that would be hilarious. That would be hilarious.
On the bulletproof glass.
That would be hilarious.
Oh man, it has like Sunday morning. He's like doing whatever they call mass. I don't know what they call their is that what they call like their all
church
of
service?
it? Their church service. It's all mass. Like,
I mean, they might specify a type of mass, but yeah, they are all called masses.
He goes up there and he's like, I'm gonna keep this short because the Bears play at 1:00. That's who I want leading my church. You know, someone that also has to be home to see their football team play.
That's fair.
He just every time he finishes a sermon, he's like, "God be with you, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Go Cubs." Walks off.
That would be funny.
Oh man, so good.
So,
Mr. Wrigley, who art in heaven, hallowed be my name. Does the Pope say hallowed be my name? Is he not like an extension of God? How does that work? Does he say I in place of he?
No.
I, my body, my blood broken and shed for you.
No. He's, according to, from what I understand, Catholic doctrine, he is Christ representative on earth.
Christ incarnate.
So, but he does not consider himself Christ, but
I'm Jesus. I am the new Jesus.
I'm pretty sure that would be sacrilegious for them to say, but
whatever. He's the Pope. He can do whatever he wants. No, they can't. What are they gonna do?
Also, I wonder, is there
kill him like in Conclave?
Is there a did somebody kill? You talking about the movie?
Yeah.
Did somebody get killed?
The Pope. Didn't he get like poisoned?
Oh yeah. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
I wonder, is there a, well, twofold. Is there a protocol for removing a pope? And second part, has that ever happened?
Good question.
Like, is there an impeachment of a pope? Like, can you do something so egregious that they're like, you're not God's representative? No, I'm not saying that they're not capable of doing something egregious, but
we're talking about the Catholic Church here.
Is there a protocol for if you get caught? Let's put it that way.
We're talking about the Catholic Church here.
If you get caught doing something so egregious that they're like, you're no longer Christ's representative on earth.
Now they'll just move you to a different popedom.
There can only be one. There's lots of cardinals. Is there a history or is there a precedence for somebody being demoted back to cardinal?
I don't know. I'd imagine that they like once you're in it, you've kind of proven that you should be there, and I don't think they let you do anything to tarnish it after that. I think there's enough people around him to like stop anything
or cover it up.
Yeah.
I mean, well, the Pope Benedict 2 popes ago, I don't know if he was
he a Nazi? Was
he
that
had
the one?
He had some connections.
Uh-huh.
He stepped down, which apparently was pretty historical.
Right.
I don't know if it had ever been done or just hadn't been done in like,
modern
in the
times.
last 100 years, whatever.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I just kind of wonder if
Yeah. I have
can you
no
do
idea.
something so bad that they're like, nope. It's similar to the Supreme Court. Like, I don't think that's ever happened. Like, they're both things that you were selected for life.
Right. I just think that by the time you get there, like, your character's pretty
You
strong.
would hope.
Yeah.
But like you pointed out, it is a Catholic church.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I just wonder. And this Pope is only 69. So,
Nice.
so as far as history is concerned, popes live a hot minute. He's gonna be there for. He's relatively young.
Yeah. What can he do?
What do you mean?
Like what like people are like, you're like, oh, I wonder like if he's gonna shake things up. Like what could he possibly? Could he be like, nah, gays are cool?
Well, the previous pope did that, which I mean, historically
but
speaking,
it's like, what did that change? Did that genuinely change people's opinions? Like, were Catholics like, oh, okay, it's all right, it's fine now?
Again, not in that community,
Like,
so I don't know. But
possibly have had that effect.
But I mean, as far as Catholic PR, as it were, it made Catholics seem less judgy and more inclined to evolve with the times.
But at the same time, if a new pope came in and he was like, no, I don't do gay shit, everybody would be like, okay, we're back on board now. Like,
I mean, I'm sure there'd be criticism, but they can't override it.
They would just fall back in the line, because that's the kind of people that are like super into Catholicism.
True.
It's just like sheep that don't know how to think for themselves. Like,
winning hearts and minds there.
I mean, if we're being honest, like,
I mean, I get it, yeah.
They're literally referred to as sheep in the book that they worship. So I'm not saying anything out of line, really. The Lord is my shepherd. Therefore, you are a sheep.
I mean,
I shall not want. I don't have to think or do anything. He'll give me everything. I don't have to, if I just have faith in him, I don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
I don't remember the point I was making.
So, yeah. Exciting times.
What was I just trying to say?
I don't know.
All right. Yeah, I do that sometimes.
You got off on the freeway off ramp, and I don't know where your GPS is taking you.
Neither do I. I had a destination set. It's like in my car when it accident presses things on itself and it just hits end route, and I'm just like, oh no, I don't know where to go now.
Did that happen to you last night? Or
last night. I was listening to Between the Buried and Me, and I was just like so focused. I was genuinely.
Did you not have your map screen up?
Oh, I did.
Oh.
Well, I had it on the split screen.
Okay.
And I was just listening to the music.
Wow.
And like literally, I was like listening to the music and then like picturing them playing it, and I was just not, because in my mind I was just like, oh, I'm taking the street all the way to the 210. That's where my mind was. I was like,
I don't even know that street, does that street hit the 210?
I don't know.
Oh. Well, good thing I said something.
It's a big street, so I assume that it does.
All right.
I don't know. It would have been fine if I would have gotten home eventually.
Yeah. You would have hopefully remembered to look at the GPS at some point.
Eventually, yeah. I would have been like, huh, that's weird. I don't remember it taking me this long. Why did it go up 10 minutes? Mm-hmm. And where did she go? Why did she...
I'm following my GPS.
All right, let's wrap it up here.
Alrighty.
Over an hour. This is way too long. My dad's going to be mad. So you guys go way too long. This is too long. How am I supposed to listen to this all at once? So you don't, Dad. You can press pause. You can turn around. You can turn it off and listen to it later. It's fine. So YouTube will keep your spot, as will the podcast app. So if you didn't know that, you can pause it anytime you want.
Yep.
Okay. Let's plug it up, baby.
All right. You can follow me at eb_Nick. You can email us at thickthinpod@gmail.com if you have clips you want us to see and or talk about, questions, topics, hit us up.
Yeah. You can follow me on Instagram at Willie_D20 for all my stand-up stuff and comedy. You follow me on twitch.tv/William_D20 for the few times that I stream on there. My other podcast, The Buddycast, available everywhere you listen to podcasts. And I think that's it. Thank you for listening. Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
And happy Mother's Day, Mom, too.
And none others.
I disagree with him on that.
Yeah, whatever.
If you're a mom, happy Mother's Day.
Toodles.
Bye.